A Canceled Teacher, Part 2. Written by King Cole. Narrated by Bolchoz. Copyright 2022. Introduction. This is a short book of education and about an educator who taught for over 20 years. My journey took me through 3 states and 12 schools, which are all covered here. In the first volume, A Canceled Teacher, my early years of teaching in the late 90s provided adventures in unconventional teaching techniques. In this second volume, the early 2000s are visited with passion, I hope, vigor, and honesty. Here, I try to identify many problems faced and possible solutions to topics such as school violence, school administrators, state testing, and the school to prison or penal education complex. Although names, dates, and locations have been changed, the issues which plague the American education system then and now remain the same. Most of this book involves, again, my personal classroom experiences. The remainder studies sociology, making a difference in school bonding and delinquency by the University of Minnesota, also examined our school class and race in admissions, charter schools, and single-sex segregation in schools. Forgive me, I have to include this. Legal disclaimer. Unless otherwise indicated, all the names, characters, businesses, places, events, and incidents in this book are either the product of the author's imagination or used in a fictitious manner. Any resemblance to actual persons living or dead or actual events is purely coincidental. This is a call to ears and a plea for change. After reading a review of A Canceled Teacher, I felt compelled to try to provide in this volume solutions to many of the current American public education problems. In this second book, I offer problems and solutions, tactics and strategies which may help younger teachers. Most older teachers, to be honest, are resistant to change. Administrators in this volume are my primary target: assistant principals, and superintendents. In addition, the prison industrial educational complex is addressed. I took the liberty of sharing articles in education under the fair use doctrine in the later part of the book, which I felt gave a better cause and effect or problem solving for solution scenario to my own personal experiences. However, according to one online review of A Canceled Teacher, the first volume, my last teaching post was in Louisiana in 2005. That is not the case. The reviewer was also 2 states off and 10 years past. In actuality, in this book I spent 2 years at a Latino high school. At the time of 2015, 3 years passed since my last teaching assignment. Yet the problems faced then stared at me again. To be real, it was politics then, and it was the same at this new school. Let's talk about politics. Some of us call it human nature. Some may call it favoritism, racism, sexism, or ideology. Others may call it territorialism. This latter term means a new teacher is or may be viewed as a threat to a new faculty. New blood or energy misunderstood by others brings scrutiny, gossip, and plots. In 2011, during my recertification process in another state, I questioned the former librarian about this plotting, who at the time was guiding me through one of the recertification courses. I knew her well from my high school years, attending there years ago. Later, I worked there as a teacher for 3 years. She told me she overheard many times in her 25-year career teaching haunts administrators plotting to find fault with a teacher or teachers they did not like. A few of those assistant principals I worked with as well. For in the 2003-2004 academic year, they stopped me receiving my Teacher of the Year award. More on that later. This mini book is about solving problems or avoiding them at the
Sample complete. Ready to continue?